Hey, what's up guys? Aaron here, and today I'm going to be doing something new for my channel. I'm going to be breaking down the Boosted Mini S electric skateboard and the Solowheel Glide 3 electric unicycle. So, let's get into it. First up, we have the newly released Boosted Mini S. This electric skateboard boasts a 5 to 7 mile range and currently retails for $750 US. It provides a familiar yet exhilarating ride that'll be easy to pick up for skateboard veterans and newcomers alike. Next up, we have the Solowheel Glide 3. This electric unicycle boasts a whopping 20 to 30 mile range and is currently selling for $900 US. It provides a smooth, fun, and completely unique ride experience that you really won't get from any other electric device. So today I want to break down the main differences between each of these devices, and I can simplify that down to 3 different things. You have portability, the ride experience, and the learning curve. So first, let's talk about portability.
The first thing that comes to mind is weight. The Glide 3 weighs over 30 pounds, while the Mini S weighs 15.6 pounds. While the board clearly weighs a lot less, you have to consider how often you're going to feel the weight of each. You may have to pick the board up when you head into a store, but the Glide 3 has a built-in handle which you pop up to carry it while you're not riding. Most of the time I bring the wheel somewhere, I can use the handle for a weightless experience, while the Boosted Mini gets tiring to carry after a few minutes.
So now heading to the second and probably most important point, let's compare the ride experiences. And that really starts with how you control the device. The Boosted board is controlled with the supplied remote. You have a trigger to enable the controller. You have a throttle wheel that you go up to accelerate and go down to brake and go into reverse. It feels really solid. It's a pretty ergonomic device. The Solowheel is simply controlled by leaning in the direction that you want to go. You don't have a controller, so that's one less thing to remember to bring with you, one less thing you have to remember to charge, and it's one less thing you have to carry in your hands when you're riding.
But how do these devices feel when you're riding them? I would compare the feeling of the Solowheel to a bike, providing stability and traction regardless of the surface you're on. Whether I'm on the sidewalk or in the road, it always feels that much smoother than the Boosted. Not to mention it still feels great in the grass or the dirt, which the Boosted isn't really meant to ride in. But don't get me wrong, the Mini S is a fun ride and it feels great to accelerate on. If you've ever ridden a skateboard, you know the general feeling, though the added speed and the lack of a need to push make it much smoother than a basic board. The problem is it's never as smooth as the tire on the Glide 3. Bumps and cracks in the pavement are not fun on the Boosted, and are often impossible to avoid since it isn't as easy to maneuver as the Solowheel. The Glide 3 enables you to take some pretty sharp turns, while the Boosted is harder to turn on a dime. In terms of safety, I have to say I feel more secure on the Glide 3. I feel more equipped to handle a fall since I'm facing forward, and I feel more connected to the device. I do find when riding to a red light, it's nice to not have to step off of the Boosted, while it's not really possible to stand in place on the single wheel of the Glide 3.
Probably the biggest part of the ride experience is really how long can you ride it for, and that's going to be the biggest difference between each of these devices. The Boosted Mini touts about 7 miles of range. I've been getting around 5 when riding at full speed. The Solowheel is 20 to 30.
After a day of riding and filming, I went home with 6 miles of range left on the Glide 3, while the Mini S had been dead for hours. You could always buy the Boosted Mini X for a 14-mile range, though it'll cost you $100 more than the Solowheel and you'll still be short of the G3's impressive range. One last point to consider for ride experience is nighttime riding. The Glide 3 has a built-in headlight and side panel lights, while Boosted boards don't come with any lights installed.
And now third, I want to talk about the learning curve. And between the two devices, there's really no question here. The Boosted board has a smaller learning curve. As someone who's been skateboarding for about 4 years or so, The boosted board took me about an hour, I'd say, to feel completely comfortable riding it at the max speed and ready to take it anywhere I wanted to go. On the other hand, we have the Solowheel. It's, like I said earlier, a completely unique ride experience, and that is one of the most enjoyable things about it. If you're familiar with riding skateboards or even hoverboards in the past, you will be able to pick up the Solowheel pretty quickly. I'd say it took me about 3.5 hours of just riding it out front of my house, watching a couple tutorial videos. Really, what the learning curve comes down to is that riding a Solowheel is a new skill. It's fun and it's frustrating, but it's rewarding when you finally get it. But for you, the boosted board might even be the same thing if you've never ridden a skateboard or an electric skateboard before. That shouldn't be a deterrent for anyone of any skill level. With enough time and effort, you'll be able to learn how to ride either one of these devices. Hopefully this video helped you make your decision on which one you want to get. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to share it with your friends, and thank you guys for watching. Peace.